Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. All right, y'all, we need to jump straight to the chase. Tesla is up 70% this year. Okay, 70%. And I don't think most of us had that on our bingo card, especially within the first month and a half of 2023. So in this video, we need to quickly explain what we got right about Tesla, did we get anything wrong about Tesla, and then what should you know moving forward. Now, interestingly enough, I did say that, and you can go back and check all the videos we've done on this, that Tesla fundamentally, like the sales, the numbers, all that stuff, was fine, and that it really didn't make sense for Tesla to be down 65 or almost 70% of what it was last year. And just to give you context of how well the company has been doing, their revenue is up 37% from Q4 2022 to 2021. We're going to get their new numbers here pretty soon. And then their net income, that's the money they have to pay out the bills, their profit, up 70%, 59.71 to be exact. If your profits jump in the last quarter, year over year, 60%, that is obviously a good thing. I think the market is starting to finally realize that Tesla ain't that bad. Now, the opposite side of this is it just me, or have we all noticed that, you know, Elon Musk really hasn't been in the news? Like, I saw him in the booth in the Super Bowl, but other than that, I haven't seen no crazy tweets. He hasn't been at the center of any weird social media storm or anything. And notice how the stock has been rising. When he was in the spotlight the beginning of last year and going through the whole Twitter ordeal and on every podcast and news show about who he was firing and what was going on back and forth, the stock was falling rapidly. And now things are quiet and the stock is fine. It's absolutely taking off. So the question is, naturally, is this a time for you to invest? Or should you just leave this one alone? Or have you been holding on to it this entire time? Now, for me, I sold off a good chunk of my Tesla because of the negative momentum that it has. Now, yes, this last month and a half, it makes me initially feel like, oh man, I should have held on to it, which, yeah, maybe I should have. But remember, you lose 70% and you gain 70%, you have not broken even, because that's not how math works, especially when it comes to percentages. So for example, if you start off with $100 invested in Tesla and you lose 70%, that leaves you with $30. Now you have $30 plus 70%, that gets you back to 51. So you are still down by a mile if that were the case, just based on those numbers. So no, you wouldn't have not have broken even if you invested in Tesla last year, but this is very positive momentum. For me, again, I'm gonna say the same thing I said last year. Fundamentally, the company is fine. The numbers are fine. But do I want to be beholden to whatever it is he has on his mind? And are we just a few weeks away from yet another scandal and another thing to pop out to start tanking the stock again? I honestly do not know. And that stands for me. I've been on record for years now, at least 3, maybe 4 years now, where I've said that it has always been my concern with Elon Musk, because the stock market, and I would say it's technically unfair. We really shouldn't, the stock shouldn't fall based on someone's personality. It really shouldn't, because what it should say is, hey, your revenue is up 60%, you are building more cars than you ever have, you're building plants in all these other places, you see more Teslas on the road, therefore the stock should rise. That is how things should work. But that's not always the case. Sometimes, we've talked about this before, where you can do your research, do your analysis, and have the perfect company that's doing everything right, but just because it's in the tech space, it just doesn't do well. That happens, right? There are times where we've talked about PayPal, for example. I said, look, last year and even the year before that, I was like, hey, look, fundamentally PayPal is a good stock. So was Block when they were named Square. For whatever reason, the market started to turn and both of those stocks got punished, even though at the time that we were looking at them, sales were fine, leadership was fine, there were no scandals, everything on paper was fine, but the stock just was not. So for Tesla, I'm still out on it. We'll see what happens whenever it happens, if it happens. But I am excited for Tesla investors. If you currently have it, if you are somebody who's new that wants to get into it, go back to yesterday's video where I talked about the 5% rule. So for me, if I were going to get back into it, a maximum of 5% is what I would do. I wouldn't do more than that. And that is of all the funds that I have. So if I'm only investing $100, I might not go over 5. That way I can save my other $95 and do something else. But right now the stock is on fire. Generally for me as well, I like to, see 6 months at a minimum. At a minimum, I like to see 6 months of a solid track record to say, all right, this is real. I'm going to go ahead and jump into it and have reasonable confidence that over the next 6 months, at least I would get something similar. Is that a guarantee? Absolutely not. But for me, 45 days or so of a year is not enough for me to go confidently into a stock, because I don't know about you, but usually anytime that a stock pops this quickly, it usually isn't hard for the stock to come back down that quickly as well. Now again, 70% is hard to beat. That's definitely a hard cliff to fall off of. But again, depends on when you're looking at it, right? If you're looking at it from last year to now, right, you would still be down, and that's just based on the percentages and the math. But overall, fundamentally, which I've been talking a lot about this year in terms of, is the company making money? Do they have to take on debt? Are they paying higher interest rates? All that kind of stuff. Tesla's checked all those boxes, and they've been checking it for a while. So it looks like finally the stock market is looking like it's noticing and rewarding Tesla investors. Now my bigger question here is, well, I guess two, now I'm thinking about it. Number one, what does this mean for Ford, GM, and others? I do still think they are closing the gap, and they will close the gap on Tesla. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon though. Like I really don't expect Ford to catch up to Tesla in the next, in the next like at least 7 years. I think it's going to be a while before they really get close in production. Right now, I think it's, 800, 900,000 vehicles a piece. That is the gap right now. So we'll see if they ever catch up. But if you are someone who believes in Tesla and thinks that it will continue on this pace, perhaps this would be a good time to invest, but it does still depend on the personality and the tweets of Elon Musk. Again, not fair, but it is what it is. The second thing too, and I don't have the answer to this, is does this mean anything for the broader stock market? Now we know that Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon, they tend to drive wherever the market goes. When those stocks do well, it pulls along the entire stock market, I would say 8 times out of 10, because they represent close to 20% of the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 by itself represents like 90 or 95% of the entire US stock market. So yeah, where they go, usually the stock market and sometimes even the economy follow. Now we'll see. Now stocks so far this year are positive, and that's good, right? But it's still extremely early, and there's so many things, whether it's a spy balloon or whatever happens, there's a lot going on that can derail the stock market, whether it's something we can see like a potential recession or inflation, or something current events or even weather can definitely affect the market. So we will see where all of those things go. But I wanted to bring that note up because that's not something I had on my bingo card. I didn't expect it. Nobody told me about it. Y'all ain't said nothing about it. So I wanted to bring it up and let y'all know that that is happening right now, and you make your own decision about what you want to do with the stock. But hey, does raise an eyebrow, and it's something we can definitely learn from it. All right, that is it for me. Well, technically it's not. We got a programming note. So next week I'll be out of town. I will schedule some videos out. So unless there is something breaking, you're gonna get your content, regardless. So still like, subscribe, leave comments, and all that kind of type of stuff. But do pay attention to the shorts. The YouTube shorts on here and on Instagram. I'm not really on TikTok like that. But if there's breaking news or something that's happening that we need to talk about and explain right now, continue to submit those questions, continue to make those comments, and you will likely see like fresh content right then and there about what's happening today on those mediums and in those formats. Other than that, I will continue to take questions and schedule those out for next week. So if you want a question answered, let me know now so I can record it so you can get it next week. It's your opportunity to do so. All right. Now, that is it for me, as well as make sure that you join our members only. That link is always right here, buildingbread.com/members. All right. That is it for me. I feel like I've said it for 3 times now, but it is. All right. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.